see if we're live. Yep, okay. Okay, it is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, December 16th, 2025 at 9:21 p.m. Central Standard Time. I just finished watching the first episode of the second season of Fallout TV show, and I figured I'd talk a little bit about the notes that I made upon it. We'd obviously talk about the events of the episode, but I made a series of notes and things I thought were important or interesting, and I figured we'd go over them. I'm not going to show the episode. I might show individual scenes from the episode as we go through it. I've already muted this, so I'm hoping that I avoid any sort of copyright issues. We'll see what happens, though. So, okay, that's not them. Where are we here? Yeah, okay. So the opening has House in a bar, which we'll see here in a minute. And it appears that House has a double. Because people were noticing, as I did myself, that it seemed that House had basically two actors. So we had the actor that was playing House in the first season, and then we got to the second season, and we had a new actor playing House, which I think is Justin Theroux, if I'm remembering correctly. Not terribly great with actors' names, but regardless. So if we go to where is it? So yeah, I'm just again going to kind of jump through here a little bit. We start off with anti-automation stuff going on. I really like this city. I'm not sure exactly where this is supposed to be because it doesn't look exactly like. It may be that it's supposed to be LA. I don't remember LA looking exactly like this in the skyline the first time around. Anyway, though, when we get to, again, we got violence against bots, which was something that we saw a lot in Appalachia. A lot of people angry with Robco here. Now, if we jump forward here, we've got Robert House on the TV, which is the actor from the first season. But if we jump slightly further in, we have Robert House as we've seen him in all of the trailers for the second episode. So, again, it seems that Robert House has a... Yeah, they even show it right here. Rafi Silver is playing basically the public face of House, while we have Justin Theroux, again, I think is his name. Let's see if it'll show up here. In the X-ray. I think they just call him the Stranger, actually, in some of the other ones. But again, I'm pretty sure this is Robert House. But yeah, he comes in here and basically tells them that all these workers are obsolete, that they're going to be replaced, that they voted for it by buying Robco's products and stuff like that. So then we go out to the alley, where because again, for some reason, House decides he has to pick a fight with these guys. But I guess the end point here is effectively he's trying out a little tool he has here. First of all, we do have the Radiation King van there on the left. Let me close that. Radiation King van there. If we go a little bit further in, he's got a car that has, I think he said it was $31 million in it, where he's basically saying, you guys do something for me, I'll give you $31 million. And what he ends up doing is implanting this guy with a little tool in the back of his neck, which we'll see right here. He's actually doing the implantation of it, and we'll see more of these later. You can see it right there again. He then hands the guy a baseball bat and tells him to beat his friends to death, which he does. He then turns the tool up, and it ends up exploding the man's head, which I don't think I can show because I'm pretty sure it would cause some issues with YouTube's problems with violence, because it is quite graphic. Netflix is not willing to show us. Oh, yeah, you're right. My apologies. I see that now. Okay. You can see the X-ray. Okay, yeah. X-ray still shows up. Okay, well, I will describe what I'm seeing then. This is really damn frustrating because, again, I'm not showing anything. I'm doing something that's completely within copyright, so hopefully it'll still work for you here. Oh, wait, here's an idea. Okay. I'll back up slightly here. I've even got that view open to the left, and I, for some reason, was not looking at it properly. Okay. Here's what I'm going to try. This is kind of cheap, but we'll see if it works. I've got a little screenshot plugin, and there we go. Okay, we got it. So there is the public-facing image of House. And again, if we go and... Oh, I'll pause that. Well, good thing I'm not able to stream it, because I did just accidentally have it roll a little bit. But again, let me take a screenshot here. And once again, there is the image of House that we got in the episode, in the trailer for season 2. And again, I'm pretty sure this is Justin Theroux again. So again, I believe this is the actual House in the background who uses his double to do this stuff. So then again, if we... Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next little scene that I was trying to tell you about, which is, again, him taking people out into the alley, and he's ends up plugging this tool into this guy's neck, which I might just go ahead and call it what we learn it is later. Later in the episode, we learn that it's called a brain-computer interface, or a BCI, I believe is the typical abbreviation used for that, so I'm trying to find a good clip of it. Well, heck, if you can't see it anyway, I can I can zoom around a little bit here without it being an issue. It is still showing the subtitles, so... Okay. Screenshot that, and once again... All right, so there it is. That's Robert House holding one of his brain-computer interfaces and a remote control. So if we go back in there, then he ends up, let's see, there it is again. Okay. So he has slammed the brain-computer interface into the back of this guy's neck, and then tells him to beat his friends to death, and he does. So, again, we have the fact that House appears to have been developing effectively, I wouldn't say it's mind control, but he was developing behavior control. Something where he could use it to control... Oh, it is actually, in effect, mind control as well, because when this man first kills his friends, he does seem to be actually mentally controlled by the device. But he does seem to resist it as well, and that's when House turns the thing up and it literally detonates his head. So I think that's basically what we have to take that as being. All right, so then we go to the opening Fallout sign, and then we go to Novak. So I will go ahead and advance this to where I can get a screenshot of Novak. And we have an update to the nature of Novak. All right, so there we have it. We have a Poseidon Energy gas station there in the foreground. That looks like Helios 1 back there in the background. We've got, again, Novak, and I'm not entirely certain what that is off to the left there. Oh, yeah, first of all, real quick while we're at it, I don't have any in it right now because I'm not going to drink an energy drink before I go to bed, but I do have G Fuel. I'm a G Fuel affiliate, I think is the term for it. Use my code iCartographer and you get 30% off at checkout this month, and it goes to support the channel. But I'm also actually drinking a Jones grape soda because they decided to do, it's a Nuka grape, actually, because they decided to do their Nuka Cola flavors. And it's pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and advance, because we see that this scene includes Lucy and the ghoul encountering the great Khans. Let's see if I can get this going up to a point where I can show you. Okay, yeah, I'll take another shot here because it's closer in on Novak. All right, so yeah, and it'll be easier for me to just show you this now. First of all, Helios 1 looks like crap in the background there. I didn't even notice how bad that looks. But, okay. So yeah, these are great Khans all around the pool here. That's the ghoul right there. Lucy is up in Diki the Dino's mouth. This is obviously far different from what we see in game, because that is the major highway right there. And that is where Dinky is actually facing in the game. But again, I don't really have too much of a problem with how they decided to redesign this site. It's definitely... Man, Helios 1 just looks significantly smaller, and it looks like it's bisected by the highway, which is quite odd. But anyway, all right. So let's go ahead and close that out again, and I will advance to... Let's see here. Just to give you a shot to show you that it is, in fact, the Great Khans. Yeah, there we go. They're wearing their biker vests, their biker outfits. They've got their Great Khans sign in the background there. All right. And let's see if I can advance here. So yeah. Oop. They decided to string up the ghoul with a combination of both rope and barbed wire, which is pretty cruel. But it is what it is. They seem to have been hunting the ghoul for some time. They claim that he basically was a thorn in the side of their grandfathers. So it seems that the ghoul has in the past conducted contracts against the Great Khans, or maybe even just had his own personal vendetta against them. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see here. Trying to see how much it is showing you, because you can see the little preview window at the bottom. Okay. When I take a screenshot, does it show it for the second that I take the screenshot? No. Okay. It does for like a slight second. Anyway. Okay. So there's Lucy. She's up in the dog tower with dog meat. She's got a sniper rifle. She, again, here in this scene, proves herself to be an excellent shot. Despite the fact that she constantly is attempting to use nothing but non-lethal shots. So yeah, basically, she tries to talk the Great Khans down. Get a screenshot of that. And fails in the process of doing so. Basically, she's saying, like, we need your caps because we need to buy food because we're starving. And she's basically trying to say, this is going to end with you all dead, or you all could simply just hand over your caps and let us go. That does not work out. She, again, tries to do a bunch of non-lethal shots, but the second that the ghoul gets free, he just starts blowing them away. And we get an excellent use of the song Big Iron here. I think they definitely picked the right spot for it, because it's like a nice little shootout in the desert here. And the ghoul really is in his element. Uses both his guns and their guns to to great effect. Let's see here. Back to that. Okay. And then we actually do also get to see the ghoul healing himself with radiation, which is interesting because I don't think we've seen that before in the show. Yes, hello, Goose. Just 1 second here. There we go. Okay. Get a screenshot of that. Okay. So yeah, we see here he's holding open some sort of radioactive device, which in the Fallout universe glows green. 1 second. Got a cat that wants up here. All right. So yeah, his neck was wounded, obviously, by when he was being hung or hanged, whichever the one it is. And he ends up using this radioactive device to heal his skin. So we know that radiation heals ghouls in the Fallout TV show as well. It's been once again confirmed in the lore. Then we have Lucy and the ghoul wandering across the desert, which leads them to the outskirts of Vegas. And basically they also then discuss what happened to Vegas, the fact that Vegas was spared the bombs because Robert House used his system to keep it from coming down. Now, this is something we knew from the Fallout New Vegas, but at the same time, it's something that, again, they've kind of really been changing up the lore of basically of the people in Vegas. Like, for example, Sinclair was a completely different person in the TV show than he was in the game. So definitely wanted to see exactly what they were going to do with this kind of stuff. So again, we got the ghoul and Lucy on the outskirts of Vegas chasing down Lucy's father. And let's go ahead and go to the next part here. And this is the next part is effectively the immediate aftermath of Cooper Howard from the first season having learned that his wife and their company, and the company he's the spokesman for, is effectively planning on ending the world. So this is immediately after that scene. He goes right back home and he picks his daughter up. And basically, like, the immediate action here seems to be that he's effectively planning on kidnapping her and running off to Bakersfield. But in the process of this happening, they're driving home, or not driving home, again, driving out from home. And they start passing through this neighborhood that looks a lot like Sanctuary Hills from Fallout 4. Get that screenshot up. Come on, there we go. Yeah, again, like I said, it looks a lot like Sanctuary Hills from Fallout 4. Right down to the fact that we've got the Vault Tech truck showing up to recruit people into the program. Now, as they're pulling through this neighborhood, a announcement comes on the radio that says that there's going to be a test of the Civil Defense Service in 30 seconds. And when that ends up happening, people go absolutely batcrap crazy. If I can get this open, is that... Come on. Oh, is that already open and it's just pretending not to be? Yes. All right. So again, people basically start to go crazy because... So I effectively think that what we're seeing here is that Vault-Tec is not... and the government in general are trying to increase the level of hysteria people have over the potential nuclear war that's coming. Because, again, they announced the test 30 seconds beforehand on the radio. If this was something where, you know, again, they were just wanting people actually do the test properly and all that kind of stuff, it'd be something that would be announced well beforehand, perhaps even in, like, newspapers, on the television, all that kind of stuff. Yes, the first episode of Season 2 is out now. Released at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. So, let's see. So again, I think that they were trying to increase the hysteria in order to sell more spaces in vaults. Which, let me take another screenshot here. Yeah, so there you go. So we've got this billboard in the background. Keep your loved ones safe. Cooper Howard. So yeah, let's see here. Next we come to Vault 33, I believe it is. Pretty sure it's Vault 33. We got Reg, who's basically dealing with the fact that he's no longer all that useful ever since Betty became the new overseer, and I think the Vault Council has been effectively dissolved at this point. So yeah, he's kind of just wandering through the vault eating a lollipop. If we advance to the next little scene here, we've got him arriving in the office where they're working on the water chip, because if you forgot from the first season, the water chip in Vault 33 is broken. It seems to have been broken in the raid, potentially, or at least damaged in the raid, and is now broken. They have a small amount of water left that will last them, I think, a little over a month. So yeah, they've got to work on getting it working. They've got basically makeshift ones that they're trying to use, but they need a replacement water chip, which is literally the opening plot of the first Fallout game is the water chip in Vault 13 is broken. So I think they're leaning into that pretty hard there. If I back out of here. So yeah, Reg basically shows himself to effectively be kind of useless in the vault now. Let me see if I can get a good screenshot of... Yeah. He claims to have a PhD in... What was it? I took notes here. Let me find my notes. There it is. He claims to have a PhD in event planning. So yeah. And Betty's trying to basically find something for Norm to do because she can see that he feels useless. And so she basically tells him to come up with a group that will allow them to cope with the shame or the feeling of uselessness. So next we go to Vault 32, where Stephanie Harper is working as the overseer, and she's meeting with Davey, who's, if you remember, Davey's kind of an older gentleman, but kind of like he claimed in the first season, I think, to have run for overseer, but didn't win because there was a weevil famine or something like that. But yeah, Stephanie shows literally no connection at all with her own baby, which has been left with Chet to raise. I can go forward to that. There we go. Get a screenshot of that. Is that open? Yes, it is. Okay. I actually need to close some of these other windows because otherwise it's just going to keep on building and building and building. Sorry, 1 second. Housekeeping. There we go. Okay. So Chet is raising the baby. The baby does not yet have a name. Stephanie calls the baby, it's a little boy, she calls the baby It. And people are calling it Chet Jr., despite the fact that Chet had no part in the creation of this child. Has no job other than raising this baby. He says everyone else in the vault has been assigned a job but him. And basically Stephanie just has him working as her Manny. So... All right. Let's see here. So yeah, he basically tries to get a proper job from her, and she is very angry, and ends up actually stabbing the desk in her anger. Let me get a shot here of that real quick, because she's in the middle of cutting up an orange, and is getting so frustrated with him. First of all, she decides that they're going to name the baby Chet Jr., which is again what people have generally been calling it, which Chet objects to because that was his father's name, so this is technically Chet the Fourth. But anyway, so yeah, again, Stephanie stabs the desk in her anger. Chet takes that as it's time to leave, and basically tells her, "Why don't?" And she says she's got issues with her terminal. He says, "Oh, why don't you contact Norm? Norm's the one who normally works with terminals over in Vault 33." She's like, "Oh yeah, I will." And then you see that the intervault communication system has been shut down, and we then cut to Vault 31, where Norm appears to have been the one to have actually shut down the intervault communication system. This is still Stephanie working with the computer. Yeah, intervault communications have been disabled. Next up, we find Norm in the vault. In Vault 31. Where did that go? Okay, there we go. Where he is drinking condensation off of the Buds pods. Basically, he has consumed all of the emergency food supplies within the vault. He's basically constantly fending off the advances of Bud Askins, who's like always waving around that needle trying to get him. And he's, again, run through all the food, run through all the water, but he's found a source of water in the condensation off of the pods. Yeah. So let me see if I've got any more notes on that scene. Oh, yeah. Chet claims that Reclamation Day is when there's no one left to disagree with us. That's when they will open the vaults and everyone will go back up to the surface. All right. Let's move up to the next scene. Oh, yeah. He keeps trying to get Norm to go into his father's pod. He has no interest in doing that. So let's keep going. All right. We next come to Lucy the Ghoul and Dog Meat. Wandering across the desert, they come across this gentleman here, who I'm hoping this is not too graphic for YouTube, has been stomped through by Hank McClane. Yeah, that is what has happened to his midsection there. We see footprints of that, of Hank, in a second. They then advance to a spot where there's supposedly supposed to be some food to eat. Again, Lucy, one of the reasons they stopped with the Great Khans was Lucy is running low on food. They find this woman at the site, and she's selling flea soup. And utterly disgusting. She literally walks over to a pot, shakes her hair to knock some fleas into the soup, and sells Lucy a bowl for 2 caps. They ask if she saw where a man in power armor went. She pointed off and said he took her son. So they decide they're going to go follow him further, and they eventually come to a Starlight Drive-In. Let me see here if I can get a shot of that. Which I think this is entirely why there's a Starlight Drive-In within Burning Springs, by the way. Not to say that there couldn't be a Starlight Drive-In in Burning Springs, but I feel like they're doing so much to try to tie the television show and Fallout 76 together. So yeah, there's a Starlight Drive-In, and the Starlight Drive-In actually turns out to be a way to hide the opening to Vault 24. Let's get a shot of that. There we go. You can see Dogmeat heading in, following the trail of Hank McClane. Now, once again, like in Boston, there's this weird thing that Fallout level designers and apparently the TV show folks didn't really ever think about, which is, when do you go to a drive-in movie theater? You go at night. Well, in the Fallout universe, originally at least, within the games, the bombs fell at 9 a.m.-ish, 9-something Eastern, meaning that on the West Coast it was like at 6-something. And despite that, there are all these cars at the drive-in. Now, you don't go to a drive-in in the early morning. And even if you go with the TV show version of it, which is sometime around noon or the afternoon, by the time you get to Vegas, it's still not night. So there's no reason for these cars to be here. The only explanation I've ever potentially come up with is The cars are parked there permanently. They're effectively used as seats. It's like an old school style thing where it's like drive-ins don't really exist anymore, but if you want to go, you can go and you can sit in these cars and you can watch the movie. And basically, with there having been a fuel crisis and all that kind of stuff, maybe it's kind of like a relic of the past. Anyway, all right. So then we advance and we get to where Cooper, Janie, and Moldaver are within a diner. And if I can get this screenshot to open, there we go. We got Janie playing a Wakakami game. Let's see if they. And we got again Lee Moldaver. I don't know why it keeps doing that. There we go. All right, we got Lee Moldaver here meeting with Hank McClane, telling him about the fact that that Robert House has a missile system. Now, the important thing about this is that she thinks that his missile system is intended to launch the nukes to start the war. Not as the missile defense system that House uses it in the way he uses it within Fallout New Vegas, but as a way to actually, it's an offensive system, not a defensive system. So, let's see here. She knows that that Coop and Barb are going to be going to Vegas, or the very least, I can't remember if she knows or if he mentions this. Not a great screenshot, but I'm trying to get one with Cooper in it. They basically, he's going to Vegas. Let's see here if I got my notes here. Yeah, Coop and Barb are going to Vegas next week. Yeah, okay. That's all I got for that right now. Let's see. Then, and again, in the background, we've constantly got Janie playing Wakakami. Now we get to the Cooper house. Or sorry, the Howard house, I should say. Close that, open that. There we go. We get to the Howard house where Cooper is preparing dinner while he waits for Barb to come home. Again, this is still the day where he eavesdropped on the meeting, has found out that basically Vault is planning on ending the world. He's sitting here making dinner, listening to the radio. We hear that West Tech stocks are up because of some skincare product that they've produced. Anyway, basically both of them seem to be pretending that nothing is wrong. When Barb comes home, let's get a screenshot of that. Come on, there we go. Again, Coop pretending that everything's great. Okay. Up next, we have Cooper and Lucy enter Vault 24. Why are we pretending that I can't see? Anyway, they go into Vault 24, which I in the trailers I thought was Vault 22 because it's overgrown, but it is definitely not Vault 22. It's Vault 24, and it's a very different vault. So they come in together. Cooper forces Lucy to open the vault door. By vault door, I mean the elevator. So yeah, we've got that image there. Lucy in the background having used the Pip-Boy to open the vault door. And right outside they find, here it is. Let me get a screenshot of this. A communist cap. And this definitely plays a big part in Vault 24. Vault 24's experiment we'll talk about in a minute. Interesting one. There are other things we've seen in that area. Again, we'll get to it in a minute. Okay, so we go to Vault 33, where we've got Norm running this Products of Inbreeding Support Group. And there's only 4 people there. Sorry, not Norm. Reg running this. And there's literally only 4 people there, which includes Reg. I'll open the screenshot. There we go. And then along with that, we have... let's see. Here we go. Marianne, who has come seemingly entirely for the snacks. And then along with her... And again, I'm going to close out some more of these because it keeps pretending to open these and then not showing me. Anyway, then the other folks here are... Let me see if I can get to them. Come on. Sorry, I mean, it's focused on Reg right. Okay, there we go. The last 2 we've got are these 2, which appear to have taken a very different meaning to the group, which, again, it's supposed to be supporting people who are a product of incest and are dealing with different genetic issues that come from that. These two appear to think that the group is there to support incest, and not sure how related they are, but they seem to be too closely related for a breeding to be allowed, and they are upset when they learn that this is not a group for that, and so they leave, leaving just Reg and Marianne. And Marianne's about to leave when Reg does not confirm that her issues are probably caused by inbreeding, until he's like, oh, no, yeah, your allergies could entirely be caused by inbreeding. And so that's when she decides to hang around. And so it's literally just a two-person support group at that point. Okay. Then we advance again to... Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Siblings or maybe first cousins. All right, so we then come back to Norm MacLean within Vault 31, where he's, again, completely out of food, drinking condensation. He's to the point where, let's see if I can find a good shot of it. He's, again, constantly being taunted by Bud Askins, who wants to get him to surrender and just go into the pod so that he can go back to just running things as they are. Let me get a shot. There we go. Actually, slightly further. There we go. Okay. There is a very nasty looking two-headed centipede that's crawling through the vault. And Norm is so hungry that he's considering eating this thing, but Bud actually does caution him that it's going to probably kill him if he eats that. So instead he offers to inject him with what he's got in his little injector. Basically telling him, it'll just turn you to dust, you'll blow through the vents, you'll end up fertilizing your farm. Back in Vault 33. He says there's no way forward. You can either die or you can go into the pod. Those are the only two rational options. Norm opts for the irrational option, which is basically to open up all the pods early. So if we can go to that. He shatters Bud's syringe and begins to thaw all of Bud's buds. And so that's seeming to be where Vault 32 is going, or 31 is going right now. I think that's the last we see of Norm in this episode. We then cut back to the Ghoul and Lucy within Vault 24. And there we go. They've now ridden the elevator down, and they discover that the vault is full of communists. Let me get a good shot of that. All right. So there you have it. You got the Chinese... The weird thing about this, I'll just say this right off the bat. They didn't decide to just turn them into communists. They decided to turn them into Chinese communists. The USSR still exists within the Fallout universe. And like communism as an ideological concept, doesn't have an actual nationality to it. But they decided to... And again, okay, getting a little ahead of myself here, so I'll just go ahead and say it. The experiment here appears to have been in mind control and the ability to brainwash people into accepting different ideologies, ones they would be diametrically opposed to in their own normal lives. But again, instead of just turning them into communists, they decided to turn them into Chinese communists, which is bizarre to me, but we'll see more of that here in just a minute. They go down a further elevator. I'll get you another shot of this. Okay, so you can see here they've got these guys strapped into chairs. They've got the eyes being held open. They got the projector constantly playing in front of them. And what they got on the screen is like one of those constant things of horror going in front of them. So that's like trying to brainwash them. There we go. Well, let's see if I can get there we go. That's a good shot. So yeah, they're basically trying to convince them all that individualism's wrong, collectivism is the right way to go. And again, but the whole thing is a combination of English and Mandarin, and it's like, why do they have to be Chinese communists? It's such an odd choice. Anyway, though, they go a little bit further into the vault. Lucy goes a little bit deeper in, at least. 1 second here. I'll see if I can get a shot of it. She starts working with a terminal. And that's when she discovers that the data drive has been removed. And that was Hank's doing, because who else would have done it? because again, they followed his trail in here. Then they follow a trail of sugar bombs on the floor, and that leads them deeper in. And let me get a screenshot of that. There we go. They find a box of sugar bombs, and opposite the box of sugar bombs, they find the son of, if I can get a screenshot of it, there we go. Son of Flea Soup Lady, who basically delivers a message from Hank to go home. Now, I did not watch the first season in the run up to this, and I probably should have to refresh my memory of it. But basically, he says, "Sugar Bomb, go home," which I was not aware that Hank referred to Lucy as Sugar Bomb, as his affectionate name for her. But apparently that's what the case is. And in fact, we see a little bit more of that later. Then this gentleman's head explodes shortly later. And so they have to leave the vault again, and they continue to pursue Hank. We next come to Hank arriving at that giant Vault-Tec facility. Give me 1 second here so I can get a good screenshot of it. There we go. All right. All right, so there we go. Hank in his power armor walking into this, I believe it's underground. I don't know how it could not be underground. Giant Vault-Tec facility, some sort of corporate headquarters in the Las Vegas region. And let's go ahead and advance here. There we go. Good screenshot of that. I liked that image there. All right, yeah. Now, this place does appear to be abandoned, but I'm not certain that it is. Let's see if I can back up slightly here. Okay, this is what makes it look fairly abandoned. We got this spot here where he's walking into this office, this bullpen style setup here, and again, there's nobody at the desks. But at the same time, it could well be nighttime outside. I don't know. But anyway, no one there. But at the same time, the thing that makes me think that it's not abandoned. Oh yeah, first of all, he finds that he has, how many emails is it? 1 second, sorry, let me find this. It finds that he has 462,311 unread messages at his terminal. So, it's a bit insane. Let's see if I can get a good... Oh, nope, that was good, actually. Okay, so yeah. He's excited to get back to work, and that's when he comes over and he decides to pour himself a cup of coffee. Now, again, if this place is truly abandoned, first of all, like, depending on how long it's been abandoned, there shouldn't be any liquid left in this. But if we advance just another few seconds here, he pours the cup of coffee, sniffs it, okay, and decides to go ahead and drink it. And appears to be happy with the flavor. So, again, I don't think this place is actually abandoned. I think that potentially the shift is not, like, the people are not on shift currently. Or who knows, maybe Vault-Tec has some sort of coffee that doesn't grow mold. Because we even saw in the first season when they were in Vault 4, they saw the Overseer drinking moldy coffee accidentally because he picked up an old mug. But anyway, we then see Hank getting a brand new suit. One moment. Come on. That's a good spot. Okay. So yeah, we see him walking through rows and rows of racks of suits, all of them gray, because of course that seems to be the Vault-Tec standard, which if you saw some of my reviews of the first season, I'm pretty sure that Vault-Tec is a... I don't know if this is... I think it might be intentional, that there was a movement called technocracy back in the early 20th century, and their colors were like, I think it was like gray and orange and blue, something like that, which is like the exact colors of Vault-Tec. So within the TV show, at the very least, the gray has become something that we see on all of their executives. Let's see here. So yeah, we then advance to where this is a shot we saw actually in the promotional materials. We got Hank putting on his suit here, Now, some people have said that the Pip-Boy that he puts on here, this golden Pip-Boy that he's wearing, some people have said that that's the Pimp Boy that you can get as kind of like a joke thing in Fallout New Vegas. I think what this actually is a golden Pip-Boy in the same way that companies used to give their senior employees golden watches after a certain length of time working for the company. I think that's what this is supposed to symbolize. I don't know if that's the case or not, but anyway, that would make sense to me. We see then Hank go into the Global Comms office. All right. And we see him go ahead and start working what looks like a ham radio, unless I'm mistaken, which feels weirdly low tech for this facility that they're going into, or that he's gone into here. I mean, but he immediately starts to make a report. He calls out on the radio. And from this scene, I'm fairly certain that Hank was effectively a double agent working for Robert House. The exact words, I don't think I've got the exact words of what he says here, but it says, Hank McClain reporting for duty, sir. No one in Vault-Tec knows I'm here. So yeah, again, I think that we're looking at Hank being some form of double agent for Robert House working within Vault-Tec. So then he decides to effectively continue the work that was taking place here, which was they were working on the brain-computer interfaces, and give you a lovely little shot of the room where you've got some people that were working with them. All of these corpses have the brain-computer interfaces, and their heads all clearly exploded, but you can tell that they were working on miniaturization of the brain-computer interfaces. You can see the largest one here on the right, and they're shrinking as they go down to the left. So it looks like this is something that they were planning on potentially installing maybe in the entire population, effectively something that would keep people in line. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. So yeah, that's basically the end of the episode. Hank basically is talking. You got him talking over this stuff while we see him walking through the facility. Open it up. There we go. Him talking to, I think, again, sending out a call to Robert House. He basically says, I'm pretty sure you're still alive because you planned for every contingency. So, but then we got to basically what's coming this season. Well, first of all, actually, the credits roll, and the credits bring us to... Let me see if I can get a good shot of an obvious sign here. One second, and I should get a good shot of it. Come on. First of all, we got a destroyed NCR sign. And almost there. Okay, there we go. The credits feature Prim. So we got the Mojave Express building right there. We got the Bison Steve building right there. So yeah, again, this is Prim. They got the roller coaster there in the background. But then we go to basically what's coming this season. Let's see here. This season on Fallout. So yeah, again, we have got Quintus talking over this right here, where we got Maximus once again wearing power armor. Quintus talking about wanting to basically make the Brotherhood what it should be. To make the world a better world than the fallen world. Then again, we've got the arrival of the other Paladin, played by, I can never remember the proper pronunciation of his name. It's, where is it? Kumail Nanjiani? I don't know if that's proper. Anyway, it shows here in the, basically in the captions that his name is Paladin, what was it? Just saw it. Paladin Xander Harkness. So a lot of people were speculating that this was potentially Elder Maxon. It is not. It is Paladin Xander Harkness coming in to basically talk with people. Now, the interesting thing also is that we see... Oh, yeah. Where was it? Let me find it real quick. We got Maximus talking with... I'm trying to remember character's name. Sorry, one second. Basically, they're saying that the Commonwealth is going to kill us all, which is definitely an interesting comment. Because again, it implies that there's the Civil War thing is obviously building here. Paladin Harkness references this directly as well. Okay, yeah, there we go. We got him saying that the Commonwealth is going to kill us all. And we got Maximus saying he's going to stop it. Then we have apparently Thaddeus. Come on, just open it. Don't pretend to open it. Open it. Or if you're going to open it, have it pop up on top. My apologies. Thaddeus is back in the Brotherhood. I was not expecting this. And maybe this is just something where he's like snuck back in because his uniform is still clearly damaged here. This could be something where they're doing some sort of covert operation. They've gotten into the Brotherhood compound and he's like pretending to be a part of the operation here. We've seen in the teasers running up to this that he is definitely mutated in some very strange ways. He's got that mouth basically up on his shoulder. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there, but he's basically working with kids. And they're talking about the kids are almost all dead by our age. So yeah, again, a bunch of Brotherhood kids there apparently. And the fact that either they all talk about the slogan of most kids are dead by this age. Either that is like something that's just common within the Brotherhood, or Thaddeus has been like friends with these guys for a while. Next up, we see scenes of... Is that actually open? Yes, it is. Hank working with the BCIs. And we got, again, Lucy in the NCR camp. I don't know why it keeps doing this. There we go. Lucy and the Ghoul in the NCR camp, which we saw in the trailer as well. It's kind of impossible to jump ahead in this because they're all such short clips that are right next to each other. Next up, we got Norm seemingly leading the people out of the vaults. And when I say vaults, you'll see why I mean that when I say that here in a second. Yeah, that's a good spot. Okay. All right. There we go. So we got him wearing his 33. We've got other people wearing 31. So maybe it is just people from 31 that he's leading out. I should have looked closer at that. I thought there were others with like 32 in there as well. So then, yeah, we've got basically flashbacks to Barb and Cooper talking about stuff. And it seems that I think what's going to happen is that before they go to Vegas, Cooper's going to confront Barb about what he overheard in that meeting. And in the end, she says, like, oh, there's much worse people than me out there. And seems to be implying Robert House is that much worse person. And again, with what we saw at the very beginning of the episode where he throws that BCI into that guy's neck, has him kill his friends, and then blows the guy's head up, there seem to be painting Robert House as like full-blown psychopath. So, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Dang it. Sorry, one second. Because there is an excellent shot. There we go. Could have gotten a little later, but it's fine. All right, so yeah, we got Cooper Howard, and we got the fake House behind him. Both of them seemingly riding the elevator at the same time. Probably riding up to go meet the real House. Yeah, we got shots of Vegas. We got shots of the Ghoul meeting with one of the Securitrons with Vegas Vic on it. We then have Lucy in a Legion camp. So I'm guessing at some point the two of them get separated. Lucy ends up being captured by the Legion, maybe. Maybe the Ghoul abandons her at some point because he's getting tired of the fact that she keeps doing the non-lethal shots when like they're facing down enemies that are trying to kill them. I don't know exactly what happens there. Again, I'm fairly certain that this is Macaulay Culkin. Come on. Perfect time in the Christmas season to have Kevin McAllister. within the Legion. Let's see here. And yeah, we got Robert House, who tells Cooper that he believes that he's come there to kill him. He tells him that he believes he has a role to play in the apocalypse, but he doesn't know what it is yet. Sorry, one second. Let me get ahead to another shot here. We get shots of Cooper Howard. Come on. There we go. Shots of Cooper Howard on the Alaskan front, which we saw in the teaser as well. We've got what looks to be Maximus invading potentially a Legion camp. Now, the only reason I say this, and you'll see this in a minute, is because of all the statuary that's behind him here. You'll see some more stuff that is much more Roman in nature. We got shots of Cooper and Barb wandering the strip in the pre-war world. So this is them before, potentially before going to see House, or maybe even after, who knows. Again, this is the shot of Robert House telling Coop that he believes that he has a role to play in the apocalypse. I wonder what that map is down there. It looks like a map, at least on down to his left, to the right here. I'm not sure what that is, but anyway. One moment. Okay, we then have a shot of Lucy waking up within, I think, the Vault-Tec facility here. And you'll see why I think that here in just a second. And again, you'll see more of why I believe that this facility is still active. Although, there is an office that says something about simulation, which we'll see here in just a second. So this could be entirely within her mind, or not within her mind, but she's in some sort of computer simulation. But again, all these offices that were prior, all these desks, I mean, that were empty, filled in this scene where she's walking through this. But give me 1 second here. Oh, whoa. I didn't even see that before. I think we get a shot of Stephanie without her eye patch, which is a bit creepy. 1 second. Yeah. Oof. Oh. That is a... Oh my god, that's a disturbing image. Holy Moses. Yeah. I'm gonna move away from that. So yeah, we got Barb with security officers. Looks like she's trying to effectively restore order within the vault, or maintain it perhaps, because as we see here, the crops appear to be dying. Now, I think it's obviously the case that this could be something where, again, with Norm having evacuated Vault 31, this could be something where he's like releasing a plague within the vault against the crops so that it forces them out of the vault, which I believe is something that has happened in the past in order to ensure that the overseers from 31 are repeatedly elected, because they've got the whole saying, it's like when things look glum, vote 31. It's entirely also possible that this is simply a problem of the water, and the fact that the water chip's broken, they don't have enough water to water the crops. So that could easily be that as well. Next we have a shot in Vegas of a Deathclaw ripping doors open for whatever this structure is right here. Almost looks like the O in Gamora right back there, but I'm not sure if that's what that is or not. Or no, well, I think that actually was Gamora. Sorry, let me advance to that again and see if I can get a shot right after the door is ripped off, because there is an interesting shot there. 1 second. Yeah. Oh, sorry. And I can't really do this scene frame by frame. But yeah, it looked like that was actually the Deathclaw coming out of Gamora. We got, again, the shot of Lucy and the Ghoul facing this thing down. So then we can go ahead and advance again. And we got Norm seemingly attempting to call out to his dad. I'm not sure exactly where he is in this. The lighting there makes it look like he's outdoors. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Asking what's going to happen to the vault. Then we have a scene where it appears that Reg has unlocked the secret to getting people to come to his meetings to be snacks, because basically that's what drew Marianne into his people living with being the product of incest. To that meeting, that's what drew Marianne in. So he seems to be throwing these massive parties with all kinds of food. And again, this is at the same time that the vault is now running out of water and potentially not having crops grow. So I don't think that's going to work out very well. We next get to a scene where it looks like the Brotherhood has come into Vegas. They're currently fighting Protectrons. We got a scene where it looks like Cooper Howard draws his gun on Maximus. At least that's the way the scene there seems to flow. So some sort of confrontation between those two. Okay, here we go. This is why I think this is within a Legion camp. You look in the background there. Okay, maybe not, because there's Brothers Steel banners up there. I didn't see that before. I just simply saw this statue of a Caesar here. I'm not sure which one that is. But yeah. Oh, sorry. If I snapped it. The snake oil salesman, that's the proper name for him, is coming. We see, okay, here we go. Macaulay Culkin in the Legion stabbing a Legionnaire. So it could well be that he is not actually... Okay, so this could be something where he's stabbing someone who has failed him. Or it could even be that he's some sort of agent that has managed to sneak into the Legion and is killing this guy. I don't know. My guess, because we've seen that earlier scene where he seems to be leading the group, my guess is that this is probably a punishment for a failure. That at least would be my guess. I've speculated that Macaulay Culkin is Caesar and also potentially the courier. We then get the scene in the background. This is happening at Area 51, these hangars right here. And we can see that the Civil War appears to have broken out in the Brotherhood of Steel. Let's see if we can keep going here. Okay, here we go. This is what I was talking about earlier. Simulation. This sign here with Lucy walking into it, this is clearly within that major Vault-Tec facility. So it's a question of, were all those people she was seeing before in the offices, is this some sort of simulation where maybe she's in a computer simulation going through this area? I don't know. That's the only thing that leads me to believe that potentially the facility is not still active. But yeah, she meets up with Hank again, and he, in this case, he calls her his little sugar bomb. So again, I don't remember whether or not he ever called her that in the first season. Maybe he did, but at the end of the day, he did use it at the end of this episode. And then we get, after a series of credits, sorry, 1 second, we get to what's coming in the next episode. If I can, or maybe that was, oh no, sorry, that's, it like goes to another video to show you that next episode. I'm not sure why. Is this it right here? Yes. Maybe? Yeah, it's a 36-second long thing. Give me 1 second here so I can get to a spot where I can get you a screenshot. Okay, so again, with this being the next episode, we know that it's within the next episode that Lucy's going to be captured by the Legion. Let's see here. Yeah, we've got look at potentially, this looks a lot like Atlantis, which this could well be from the shoulders here. I think this is Macaulay Culkin's character. We also have a woman there who appears to be a slave, which is pretty fairly in keeping with what we've seen from the Legion in Fallout New Vegas. Does look a little bit like Mama Murphy too with that head wrap there. But anyway, 1 second. So we have, let's see, American Entertainment Alliance annual fundraiser. It looks like is what the banner says in the background. Let me open that up. So we've got what looks like some sort of veterans society here that's coming together. Trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the name of Cooper's former. Like he's one of his co-workers, the Native American guy. He's also a veteran that he served with in Alaska. I can't remember. They're both here at the meeting. That's him right there. So yeah, basically they're for some reason they're discussing Robert House in this little scene here, and for some reason Robert House appears to actually be at that meeting. We'll see that in a moment. But yeah, we've got all these airships. I really want an explanation as to what is with all these airships. How did they manage to build so many of these airships? Because again, as far as we knew by the time of Fallout 4, there was only enough. They built it out of the remains of the crawler at Adams Air Force Base. the old Enclave crawler. And so it was kind of like a one-off sort of a thing, but I don't know. Hopefully we'll get some more information on how they have so many of them at this point. 1 second. So yeah, again, we get the Paladin Harkness here, talking about the fact that the Brotherhood has been on the verge of civil war before. Again, we've got the shots of the Brotherhood fighting against some Securitrons. We then come to Cooper walking through the NCR camp. So it seems that somehow Cooper and Lucy are going to get separated in this next episode. But it must happen after the NCR camp because they're both there at the same time. So it seems that probably the episode starts with them going into the NCR camp. At some point after that, they get separated. Lucy goes to the Legion camp. Whereas Cooper, maybe there's even an attack on the NCR camp. That would make some sense, right? And at that point, in the chaos, they get separated. Lucy gets captured. Cooper ends up going to Vegas. Let's see here. Again, because we see in this next little clip that Cooper is meeting here with a Sierratron with Vegas Vic's face on it. And let's see, advancing. Again, like I said before, Lucy's captured by the Legion. And we see, it looks like Cooper confronting Barb. Potentially that's what's happening there. It looks like they're packing at the very least for their trip to Vegas. And again, here's that that meeting I pointed out before. It seems to be a lot of veterans that are there. And for some reason, though, there's a non-veteran there in the form of Robert House. For some reason, he's decided to come to this meeting. And that's it. All right. So that's what we got to look forward to for the next episode. So basically, the current plots seem to be Norm within Vault 31, releasing the people from Vault 31, and then leaving the vault itself. Within Vault 32, we've got Stephanie dealing with the fact that she can't contact anybody else, and she's also just dealing with the minutia of being a Vault Overseer. Chet is attempting to raise her child that she has no interest in. Within Vault 33, they're dealing with the water chip issue. Reg is trying to basically create this, basically get a sense of power back, and in the process, he seems to be creating this meeting where they're just kind of gorging themselves at the same time as the water chip problem is making it so that they're not able to grow any additional food. So definitely going to have issues there between Reg and Barb, I would expect. Now with the Ghoul and Lucy, again, they're together currently. They've just left Vault 24 within the first episode. So I'm expecting that the first thing they're going to do is come across that NCR camp at some point. Again, I think they're going to end up getting separated. Lucy's potentially, again, an attack on the NCR camp. I think Lucy's going to end up captured by the Legion. Cooper's going to end up in Vegas. Now, in the pre-war scenes, we're going to see, I believe, Cooper confronting Barb about what happened in the meeting. Barb excusing her actions by saying there are people out there that are worse, including basically Robert House. And from what we've seen in this episode, Robert House is really just a psychopath, because I don't know how else you explain his actions other than him being some sort of psychopath, or at the very least some sort of sociopath. Along with that, we see the meeting within the Veterans Hall. It's like White Horse. I can't remember his co-worker's name. Anyway, he's also there with Cooper during that meeting. And then I think that's... Oh yeah, Hank is within the Vault Tech facility, and it seems that Lucy's going to end up there too. Now, I don't think we saw anything of Lucy within that facility within the what's coming in the next episode thing, so I think that we have to look forward to in the future. So currently, I think within the next episode, we're simply going to see Lucy within... I should pull up an actual screenshot here so you're not just staring at a black screen. Huh. Let's go to maybe something I didn't have up here before. I think we're just going to have Lucy within that facility. This is acting weird. Where's a good shot? Trying to get something that I potentially did not have before. There we go. That's a suitably disturbing scene where they appear to be pulling the teeth on this gentleman. Now, maybe this is some sort of punishment because he tried to bite somebody or something like that. I don't really know how to put that. Looks like a Vexillarius right there that's doing that from the wolf or coyote head thing that he's got there. But yeah, I think Lucy's going to be captured by the Legion. I don't know exactly what's going to come of that. And it's, oh, right. The Brotherhood's having some sort of Civil War event take place, and it looks like that's starting in the next episode with... From the other shots we've seen within the teaser, it looks like Maximus is potentially going to be befriending Paladin Xander Harkness. And we've also got Thaddeus seemingly back with the Brotherhood as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly where they go with all this stuff, how Cooper and Lucy are going to end up separated, how it is that Maximus is going to end up, again, reuniting with a ghoul, as we've seen in another scene, where the ghoul has basically drawn on him. Again, we also see, again, with Lucy showing up at the Vault-Tec facility, she eventually does reunite with her father, so it's going to be interesting to see the exact outcome of that. We still have not seen any sign of Barb or Janie in the post-nuclear war. So whether or not they're even still alive, we don't know. My guess is that they're holding off on showing any sort of imagery of that, basically to keep it in people's minds as something that could potentially happen. But also they probably don't want to give away any spoilers on that. That could easily simply be what that's all about. They don't want to let too much out on that. Now, again, with all this stuff, we still have to ask the question of what exactly are they trying to have the canonical outcome of New Vegas be? They've made these comments where they're basically like, oh, it's years later, the fog of war and stuff like that. It doesn't really work like that. Like, we know there's the first battle of Hoover Dam, but we know that there's the second battle of Hoover Dam, and the second battle of Hoover Dam is much more conclusive than the first battle, at least in terms of what we saw in Fallout New Vegas. So maybe they're trying to say that there is no canonical ending to Fallout New Vegas because the second battle of Hoover Dam, maybe it never happened. I don't know. Or maybe the outcomes we get in the post-game videos are not canonical. I don't know how else to put it. Because again, and basically all of them, except for the House winning ending, House is dead. But it's seeming like House is probably alive. We haven't seen him yet in the post-war, but it's seeming like that's probably the case. So who knows? Maybe he's not. We'll just have to see. Because until we see the withered husk of House, we're not going to know whether or not he's actually still alive. But along with that, again, Caesar's Legion is still around. So that basically precludes any sort of NCR victory. Because again, they're within Nevada. There's no... I don't know. Again, there's so much stuff that I feel like we kind of need clarified on some of these things. The whole billboard at the end of not billboard, sorry, chalkboard with a timeline within Vault 4 really added a lot of confusion to it, where it's the fall of Shady Sands in 2077 followed by the nuke sign. I feel like there's so much more that we need to get in terms of what's going on here, and hopefully these coming episodes will explain some more of this stuff. Now, in terms of this episode, I enjoyed it. Again, I'm definitely interested to see what they're doing with House's character here, because he seems to be much more psychopathic than he appeared in the past. Now, again, we'd had very little. In fact, we had no interaction with House before the war, and we only had basically House's own accountings of his own actions before the war. So it could well be that this is just something he'd never talked about. The whole stuff where he was trying to implant people with brain-computer interfaces. And from Hank's words within that Vault-Tec research facility, it does appear that House gave up on the BCIs, while Hank is basically dedicating himself to resuming that work. So maybe that's how they explain why that's something that never came up within Fallout New Vegas, is basically House gave up on that concept, basically viewing it as a dead end. Because, again, as we've seen, every single time somebody has one of those BCIs implanted, their heads explode. So, I guess, yeah, I think that we could potentially take that from that. I don't know. Again, I'm looking forward to episode 2. I don't think I'm going to make more videos on this other than this type of video where I simply talk about what we've seen. I feel like this is the most productive use of my time, is to do this and then I go back to working on lore videos, which is what I was doing before this episode came on, as I was working on a lore video. Trying to find the distance between the Sol system and the Cheyenne system, which appears to be approximately 20 light years. Anyway, though, Anybody have any comments or questions they'd like to put in the chat real quick, and we can try to cover that stuff. But otherwise, I think we'll close things out here, and what we'll do is next time we'll talk about the second episode, which I don't know if they're going to release them weekly on Tuesdays now, or if they're going to basically have a week and a day before the next one comes out, because if you don't remember, this one was originally supposed to release tomorrow, and they decided to release it a day early. Or at least that's what they claimed. It could well be that they were always planning on putting it out on Tuesday and did this as a whole publicity stunt. But regardless, any comments or questions? I don't see anything yet. I'll give you another minute here. And if there's nothing, then we'll go ahead and close things out. And we'll talk about this more next time. Again, I'm continuing to make notes here. I'll pull that up real quick. We got... All right, yeah, let's see here. We got... House has a double control mechanism, the BCI. Trail of research, new suit, Pip-Boy. Staff is dead, working on miniaturization, which apparently misspelled. There we go. Paladin Xander Harkness. Again, the only reason I know that is from the subtitle. Commonwealth is going to kill us all, which is definitely an interesting comment. It appears that, again, like I said before, it seems like the Brotherhood is moving more towards being a monarchy rather than being a another thing there. Oh, well, good. It's good to talk to you. Let's see. I appreciate it. And yeah, I like actually being able to just talk about the stuff as we see it. Let's see here. Cooper confronts Barb. Normally it's people out of the vaults. I think I can turn that to out of Vault 31. And again, I think 33 is still having their crop issues. Crop problems in 33 probably due to lack of water. Deathclaw in Vegas breaks down gate. No, I think it breaks down door to Gamora. Did I spell that right? No. There we go. I'm not sure if that Deathclaw... It appears almost like the Deathclaw was in Gamora, which would definitely be interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all of it. Can put that to that. Okay. Yeah, that's all I've got for now. We'll see where all this stuff goes next time. It's been great talking with you all. I hope you all have a good rest of your week. Yeah, I'll see you all Friday. Hopefully I'll have some more stuff to talk about then on some other videos. Anyway, great to talk to y'all. Great to see y'all. Good to see this episode, and we'll see what they've got coming next time. Have a good night, y'all.